After debuting back in 2013, The Last of Us is finally getting the television adaptation and recognition that it deserves, thanks to HBO. The action-adventure game, with its focus on its two protagonists, Joel and Ellie, became a rapid sensation amongst devout fans, who now appear to have mixed feelings regarding the news of their beloved game being adapted as a television show. Today we'll be talking about The Last of Us game versus TV show and what are the biggest differences between the two. Stay tuned to find out more. What are the biggest differences going to be between the game and its TV adaptation? There's a large number of people among the fan base who have put their faith in the hands of the network and creators of the show, especially after learning about the people who are going to be involved in making the show into a reality. Co-president of Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann, who directed both The Last of Us and its second part, is going to be a writer and executive producer on the show. He's revealed the things that are going to be changed in the process of adapting the game into a TV show. He explained that aspects of the property obviously had to be altered so as to be translated smoothly in a TV format. He also shared that while a lot of the original dialogue from the game is going to make it into the show, several of the dialogues will be changed to give a much more suitable effect for the medium of TV. Of course, the game has to teach players about the mechanics, but the TV show wouldn't need to give a tutorial to its audiences on how to use firearms. He also shared that some of his favorite episodes from the show actually ended up deviating a lot from the story, and that he was excited for the fans to be able to see the changes being incorporated on the screen. Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin is the focal person who's going to be working with Druckmann on the show. He's made it a personal goal of his to ensure the fans that the show is not going to deviate from the original games all that much. In fact, Mazin went as far as to stress upon the fact that he and his creative team will not be undoing any of the original story that came from the great minds of Druckmann and Bruce Starley. And instead of twisting or making major changes to the essence of the story, they are only going to enhance it for the fans. Yes, it's hard to get much information off of a single image, but the first look revealed by HBO has definitely provided fans with the hope that the creation of the show is headed in the direction they'd hoped for. Characters of Joel and Ellie appear to be expertly recreated based on their looks from the game. The color schemes, the backpacks they have with themselves, even the vibe of their background, a beautifully destroyed wasteland, matches what we encountered in the game. The network appears to be prioritizing all the right things, and fans feel extremely excited by the fact that the original feel of the game has not been taken over by the appearance of a big-budget science fiction series. There are aspects to the story which cannot become a part of the games, and even though Mazin has not revealed what those aspects are, he did share that as soon as Druckmann told him about the things he had to exclude from the game for different reasons, showrunner has been hell-bent on introducing those things in the show, in hopes for the fans of the games and those tuning into the show for the first time are going to fall in love with. What are fans fearful about regarding the TV adaptation? The project was greenlit by HBO in November of 2020, and many fans are concerned that adapting games into TV shows or films can be quite tricky. The way that fans have been connected to the game as well as its sequel, they're afraid that the TV show may end up losing everything that makes it special and worthy of all the love and devotion that it's gotten in the past. The game has within itself dozens of hours of Easter eggs and elements that are bound to be excluded from the show. Let's quickly talk about the things fans are most fearful of being ruined because of the adaptation. Number 1, having yet another zombie show on their hands. Sure, it is a zombie apocalypse that sets the initial setting for the show, but The Last of Us is definitely not a zombie show. And eagle-eyed fans and players of the game are well aware of that. We already have plenty of zombie shows and movies, including a $1 million franchise called The Walking Dead. Ring a bell? Not only would creating yet another zombie show be a big mistake, which would end up in the TV adaptation being a flop, faithful fans of the game would also end up being seriously disappointed, and maybe it wouldn't be the best thing for HBO following the Game of Thrones Season 8 debacle. Number 1, losing the true essence of the game. The core of the game lies in the father and daughter-like relationship that develops between the two protagonists, Joel and Ellie. Throughout their journey, the troubles that the two encounter and the lengths to which they go to ensure each other's protection and how that relationship blossoms, that's what the game's mainly focused on. The beautiful moments taking place in between all the blood, gore, and running around. If the showrunners fail to bring that relationship to life the way it deserves, fans are going to lose it. Number 1, a typical Hollywood Enthralled-style action-packed show. Yes, the game is an action thriller, but what makes this game different from other games is the fact that neither Ellie nor Joel are warriors. They're normal people who have had to learn how to adapt in a world that is all violence all the time. That means they're not fighters who can pull off badass Matrix-level action sequences. A large chunk of the game's combat was focused on stealth and sneaking up on enemies, who were often far stronger than the main characters, and not exceptional marksmanship or fighting skills. The story being changed. Of course, fans are expecting to lose some aspects of their favorite story because not everything can be incorporated as it is. The major concern is that the network, in order to mellow down the show and maybe even make it less controversial, is going to try and strip it off with its brutality, which is what gives the show its soul. The lengths that Joel and Ellie are willing to go to prevent one another from being harmed, that's what the fans have lived for. But be it murdering an entire hospital filled with expert surgeons to save a little girl or other violent sequences. Other related news. How many episodes will the series have? HBO ordered The Last of Us 2 series back in November of 2020, and the show officially went into development in March 2021. News has finally surfaced that the first season of the show is going to have 10 episodes, like nearly all other shows created by HBO. No official release date is currently in sight, however, sources are expecting for the show to premiere sometime later this year. More on casting decisions. The show is set to have The Mandalorian and Wonder Woman star and Game of Thrones alum Pedro Pascal in the role of Joel, while Bella Ramsey, who played the badass and beloved Lyanna Mormont in Game of Thrones, is starring as Ellie. Along with him, Merle Dandridge will be joining the cast to play the live-action role of Marlene, which is exciting considering that Dandridge is the face of Marlene in the game. Jeffrey Pierce, who gave voice to the character of Tommy in the game, is going to be joining the cast, but in a different role. Gabriel Luna is going to be playing the role of Tommy, Joel's brother, instead. And of course, the lovely Anna Torv will be seen by Pascal and Ramsey's side, playing the role of Tess, Joel's partner in crime who convinces Joel to take Ellie along with him in the first place. One of the most important questions on fans' minds is how are Pascal and Ramsey going to appear on screen together? There's no doubt regarding their abilities as actors, as they have both proven their worth on screen before. However, the most integral part of the show revolves around the relationship between Joel and Ellie, and on-screen chemistry between Pascal and Ramsey is yet to be put to the test. What to expect from the first season? During an interview, Neil Druckmann actually confirmed, to the relief of fans of the game, that the first season of the show is going to be an almost near adaptation of the original game. So at least for the first season, the fans are expecting to see the first encounter between Joel and Ellie and how their journey across a modern-day United States of America, riddled with diseased, violent corpses, and far worse human beings, pans out. That's a wrap for this video. What changes do you think they're going to make to the TV adaptation of The Last of Us? And do you have high hopes for it? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.